Now, what did the Soviets used to call that? Oh, that's right. The people who started off communism in Russia were later referred to as the useful idiots. It was basically the manpower to overthrow the government. And a lot of those people, guess what? Got purged. All right, everybody. Terrence Popp here with another episode of Live from the Lair. In regards to the protests, listen, I saw that shit that went down with Mr. Floyd, and the only thing I can say, it was a bunch of fucking bullshit. All right, there is absolutely no excuse for kneeling on a man's neck when he is cuffed, laying on his belly on the ground. With that being said, I understand the overarching frustration as to why it's happening. It has to do with the fact that our legal system is fucked up from the floor up, all the way to the very goddamn top. I believe there's somewhere in the neighborhood of 50,000 different laws on the books. 70% of them are victimless that they use to charge people with to make sure they get the conviction or a plea. Now, I personally don't think that's fair. I personally think that most of the judges need to be fucking fired, and the entire system needs to be overhauled so the average man can stand a fighting chance in fucking court, to include family court. It's a whole other side issue. Okay, now, it's being played out that, it's all discriminatory and the cops, target certain individuals. And I blame this squarely on single mothers who are responsible for 85% of the individuals in prison. You can Google that stat all you want. That's the way it is. Because in the 1930s to 1950s, when racism was way higher, the amount of minorities in prison was way lower. Now, first of all, we're getting all kinds of reports in the media that there are pallets of bricks showing up at or near these riot sites, to include dimensional lumber and various flammables, etc. Okay, now I googled, or I binged, or looked up on the internet the cost for a pallet of bricks. Anywhere from $250 to $900, and some of the more fancy bricks go up into the 1500s per pallet. Let's just say, we average this out somewhere like $600 or $700 a pallet, and you get a dozen or more at a particular riot site. That's between $7,000 and $8,000. And we're not even including dimensional lumber. Okay, there was a couple defending their store that were beaten with fresh, clean, brand new 2x4s. Those just happen to be laying around in the street willy-nilly. Kind of strange. I don't know. You be the judge. Now, for all this to happen, it requires a hell of a lot of pre-planning. Having orders of pallets on standby. It could have happened. They could have done it on the fly, but I'm thinking no. Okay, as a military thinker and planner, I can't really see somebody pulling that out of their ass willy-nilly and having bricks appear at multiple riot sites across the nation. Here, I love this one. The media is running counter stories in regards to this, and they're saying, these riots were taken over by neo-Nazis and white supremacists. Okay, I'm getting sick and tired of hearing this. This is like telling a kid the boogeyman's gonna get him every single night when he gets up to sneak in the refrigerator. Sooner or later, that fear you're trying to instill in these people, it just stops working. And I think we're there. Oh, it wasn't me smoking mirrors. It was this guy. All right. Not believing it. Okay. Also, social media is scrubbing anything that goes against this narrative from their sites. If you come across anything like this, download the program, save it to your hard drive, and upload it to an alt text site where it will not be edited. Because sooner or later, people are going to start to listen.
A guy in a pillowcase, a clinging nymphomaniac, two bored chicks suffering the backdoor blues.
You ever been fucked in the ass?
What?
And a hitman trapped in the middle without a clue. From the makers of The Project and Red Days comes the second to last worst day of my life. Watch it now on Amazon for only 99 cents.
We are not little Japanese boobs. We are big American titties.
How many times in the past have we had large neo-Nazi white power violent protests? I have seen the list of threats to the United States. White power and neo-Nazis were not even in the top 100. There are not that many of them, and they don't have the resources. So I would have to say no. Antifa has swelled their numbers with the massive amount of millennials out there who have been indoctrinated with the school system K through 12, 12 through 16, and beyond. Now, what did the Soviets used to call that? Oh, that's right. The people who started off communism in Russia were later referred to as the useful idiots. It was basically the manpower to overthrow the government. And a lot of those people, guess what? Got purged, sent to the gulag, or marched into pits. Okay, now the useful idiots we have today don't seem to understand that because K through 12 and 12 through 16 isn't teaching it to them. Okay, this is a fact. You can find it if you want to look for it. As I've said before, there are countless incidents of Antifa, doing violence at a lot of these protests, and they say, it's to fight fascism, when in reality, they are the useful idiots that are going to usher in the fascism. Okay, now we have the Democrats who are looking the other way, making excuses or flat out encouraging what is going on out there today. All right, now these are your elected officials who, dare I say, are no longer Democrats. They are socialists/communists, and they want a big government to take care of them. All right, and then they want to take that riot to the point where the people from this side have to intervene to restore order. And then that will be used as an excuse to militarize, start an insurrection, which becomes a rebellion, and then a civil war. And one of the main reasons, in my opinion, the left is so pissed is they had grabbed a hold of the narrative and they were guiding it right down towards socialism, communism, one world order, and Trump got elected and threw that whole goddamn thing in the garbage, or at least threw a monkey wrench in the works.